So welcome back to Freedom in Hours. Really happy to have you back with us today. So we've done a lot of videos about Bitcoin and why we believe Bitcoin is a bad investment. And in this video, we had a lot of subscribers coming to us and asking, Andy, how much should I invest in Bitcoin? So we thought we'd do a video to talk about, if you are looking at investing in Bitcoin, what you should invest in, the reasons for it, and I guess things to look out before you do invest in Bitcoin. So all that coming up on Freedom in Hours. As I mentioned, we've done a number of videos on Bitcoin previously. The first one being how Bitcoin is a bad investment. And we also went through why we think Bitcoin is a con. Now, the reasons why I went through this are in the videos attached, but essentially we believe Bitcoin offers little or no value. That being said, the actual blockchain technology that runs Bitcoin and runs other cryptocurrencies is actually really good. But Bitcoin itself is a means of exchange rather than an asset. So we're very concerned for our readers to look at investing money. That being said though, again, we had questions coming up as to why should I invest in Bitcoin? And I guess how much should I invest in Bitcoin? So I'm going to talk a bit more now about how much you should invest in Bitcoin and I guess the reasons why. So I guess firstly, like with any asset class, it's important that you know what you're buying. You need to understand the asset. We talk a lot about at Freedom in Hours about financial intelligence and actually understanding assets, understanding what you purchase. So I recommend all the viewers to firstly research a bit more about Bitcoin. Don't research what other people are saying in regards to the hype of buying Bitcoin, but actually research the value of Bitcoin and where it comes about. And there's been investors such as Warren Buffett that have suggested that Bitcoin, is not worth any money. I personally think it's monopoly money, but then again, it depends on your appetite for risk. So if you're a young person and you want to put a bit of money behind Bitcoin as a speculative investment and try and ride the wave that's going on at the moment, then by all means help yourself. And I guess that's kind of talking about how much should I invest in Bitcoin. It really depends on your age and also what your investment goals are. So in regards to investing with Bitcoin, so depending on your age, so let's do a couple of examples. So if you're young, 18, living at home, you've got a spare $5,000, then I suggest maybe using 10% of that to invest in Bitcoin. Put $500 in there, give it a bit of a go, see what happens. It may go up, but at least you'll be learning how finances work and how to trade marketplace. You get some good experience. If you're 65, for example, just retired, and you're looking at not working anymore, then even $500 may be a bit much for Bitcoin, but I'd suggest maybe removing yourself from Bitcoin, trying other assets. That being said though, if you retire at 65, portfolio of $1 million, then go for it. Maybe put $500, $1,000 in Bitcoin and give it a go. And with all this, as you can see, I'm talking about as being a speculative investment rather than being an investment as such. It's really important. And also I want you to look at your goals as well. So when you invest your money, you need to know what your outcome is. So are you looking at capital appreciation? Are you looking at earning some income, for example, dividends for stocks? Are you looking at a income, for example, from real estate? And you really need to know what your investment goals are. So back when I was younger, 20 years ago, I decided to go into speculative real estate and it went really, really well for me. Unfortunately, I did lose a bit of money on the way, but being young, I was able to pick myself back up and carry on the way. For future years, I built my money through businesses and investing that way. So it really depends on what your goals are. Now, Bitcoin, again, is a speculative investment. Depends on how much money you have, but I wouldn't do any more than 1 to 3% of your worth in Bitcoin. And my concern is, because we don't have a value for Bitcoin, it's very, very volatile. Now, whenever assets are volatile, it increases the risk. It does increase the potential of return, but it also increases the risk. When you've got movements of 20 to 30% per day, it can be quite frightening. And that's what I also suggest to people to look at is when you're looking at investing in Bitcoin, know whether or not you can be there for the ride. Now, it's like a roller coaster. Now, I suggest I've had people that invested with me in the past and they watched every little swing of movements of prices. Now, if you're not in for a hairy ride, stay out of Bitcoin because you could see rises 10, 20% sometimes, drops to 10, 20%. And my concern is you don't want investing to be ruling your life. You want investing to work for you. So, it's really important to know what you're doing. Now, we'll go in future videos about having a financial plan and what to do. But how much you should invest in Bitcoin, again, I personally wouldn't invest anything. But again, it depends on where you are with your life and what you want to do. So if you do put a little bit of money into it, just know it's a very speculative investment. It's very much like gambling. But then again, it could be a good chance to learn. And there's not just Bitcoin, there's other cryptocurrencies out there that you can invest in, that you can make money on. So, ones like Ethereum, Ripple, and there's new ones coming out all the time. And that's kind of my concern as well, is Bitcoin is one cryptocurrency that's on the blockchain. Now, the blockchain technology can be used to create other cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is just one. There may be many more coming up in the future. So if you want to look at speculating an investment on Bitcoin, maybe look at some of the other cryptocurrencies that are lower value. And from my research as well, some of them are even more secure than Bitcoin. Just remember, just because everyone's hopping on a Bitcoin train doesn't mean you have to. There are funds that are investing in Bitcoin. They're investing in other people's funds' money. Maybe they have success, maybe they won't. But just because everyone's saying that something is good doesn't mean it is. Remember the basics of investing. Finding good quality assets that appreciate over a long period of time, that have intrinsic value, and ones that you can have control of or understand the impact out of. So I hope that helped you. Again, we've had a lot of comments about why we believe Bitcoin is a bad investment. Again, it concerns me. Make sure you do your own research with your financial advice, with your finances. Be aware of what you're buying, understand the risks. And if you can do that and you can be comfortable with it, then good luck to you. So anyway, so please let me know what you think, what your experience investing in Bitcoin is, investing in other cryptocurrencies. Again, we'll be doing a video in future about creating financial plans and how to create wealth for the future, which we'll be covering here. Again, really appreciate your support with us. If you can make sure you also leave comments below and subscribe to the video. We've got a lot of other videos coming up in the future as well. So yeah, thank you a lot for joining us here at Freedom in Hours.